Man's innermost self is
I let go. Sherry, Sherry lady, going through emotion. Love is where you find it. Listen to your heart. Sherry, Sherry lady, living in devotion. So it's like the first time. Let me take you apart. Sherry, Sherry lady, life is no tomorrow. There's no time. I let go.
man's innermost self is God, and God asks in Scripture for us to recognize Him as Heavenly Father, or you know what I'm saying, our spiritual Father, right? Which I would have to, because, like I said, I came from, deep state Walmart in a former lifetime. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I suppose I'm like a test tube baby. That would make me kind of like put me in an orphan archetype to a degree. You know what I'm saying? And this is like Black Mart, not Walmart, but Black Mart. You know what I mean? Hey man, this this is a crazy world in which it seems like the animals or the beasts of the field are hived in with the intellect of human beings, and the types of shit I see in the suburbs is preposterous, and everybody turns a blind eye and shit. I think that animals shapeshift also, and might be extraterrestrials. I get so many deer that come around me and follow me, outside. And it seems like the many things that I would speak to you about at certain times, get shifted during the duration of what I'm speaking to you about, due to the fact of paranormal phenomena. So I think that this world, has a certain image, but the carpet doesn't match the drapes, so to speak. The inside doesn't match the outside. The image doesn't line up with the truth of how things truly are within this world. And so individuals could be living the dream. Now, the humans, according to science, based upon what they can report, human beings have 5 senses. But the science doesn't necessarily denote that humans do not have beyond 5 senses. It doesn't say that we only have 5 senses. It just merely states that we have 5 of them. So it would appear to me that human beings have many more senses and types of intelligence than the fractional amount that we are raised to accept pertaining to education. I'm gonna call my education a taco education, because even though I have 2 college degrees, which may have came from schools that were accredited, most of the knowledge that I have within my mind has pertained to pop culture, music, and things that I was raised around, more so than traditional education and schooling. Outside of basic arithmetic for the most part, maybe some algebra, maybe some history and some science and a little bit of English. I think that an individual, that's all an individual needs. You know what I'm saying? And yet we have all this education that if, it's like that what, another brick in the wall, man. Like, if you don't go to school, right, you're going to go to jail, right? So even if someone is not in the prison system, like the majority, like a lot of black people, pertaining to certain, let's say, jobs or forms of employment, we have to work, filling the prison system, despite being minorities, and how that breaks down the nuclear family, and from a nuclear basis, not just on a physical basis, but also spiritually. And the evil knowledge in which, what did that slave owner know that was standing on the black man's back? You know what I'm saying? As in to draw up the melanin out of that black man. Now you see, this individual was a slave owner, and at first sight of it, to look at this and see this image of this white slave owner standing on the back of a black man, as symbolic and referential as it is in many bases, it also is a very knowledgeable basis, in which it would be hard to steer and look upon it and say it as completely evil, because you see the basis of need within the slave owner pertaining to being a Caucasian male. It would appear that this slave owner knew that he was missing something or that he needed something. That seems to be the consensus of his mind, to stand on the back of a black man, but yet conflicted by the thorn in the fact that, due to society, maybe him standing on the back is pertaining to the belief that the white man believed that he was better than the black man. But this white man came from a place of need also, in which it appeared that it seemed that he needed. Okay. In other words, what made him any different than a black man was the pigment of his skin, and in such a manner to stand on the black man's back. This was not in any type of in a militant type of manner. This was in a manner in which he wanted to draw up the melanin, okay, out of that black man. And yes, it's still incorrect, and it's still very foreign. And I would even go as far as to say, to come to this idea, it would almost seem that this slave owner was also alien. Okay? Because that's just not typical human knowledge or something that a human being would think about. It would seem like somebody that was from somewhere else, and that individual had a deeper knowledge of humans as a basis, and have found that there was a particular quality with the so-called black race that the Caucasian male didn't necessarily facilitate, and in possession of sharing that knowledge, okay, utilize that to maybe draw in the melanin of black men. And this is to say that those stars in the sky may not particularly be for you. For those who are into zodiacs and things of this nature pertain to your race. If you are human, okay, you are as a fickle and naive woman, tossed about by her wrist. You know what I'm saying? Pertaining to your psychology and the way that you think. And I'm not saying this to be predatory or wicked or sound evil in any sense of the matter, but the fact of the matter is that there are entities that pertain to spirits that have been here for a very long time, it would appear. Or we could say modalities and trains of thought and odd behaviors in which suggest are foreign to human beings walking around in the image of a human being. Okay. So pertaining to the ideation that the image of God fell would pertain to an individual, okay, that now possesses a spirit that is not in the original spirit in which he was created. Okay, so that means an entity that is of another spirit that appears as a human. This same spirit would have the number of man, 666. And these spirits, which are probably draconian enforcers, were given the key to the bottomless pit. And these spirits is the same that correlates with the serpent in the Garden of Eden. They work with an extra dimensional technology in which that controls and regulates humanity. That the neighborhood watch is always out, and even when you leave the house at 1 o'clock in the morning, they know where you're at. And there is spiritual warfare along with the warfare on the earth pertaining to Star Wars. There are entities in different races that have conflicts of interest pertaining to seasons and times and days in the earth in which they rule from the stars. And they put on this image, 666. And they stand at the podium. And they make business, and then business is made out of sex. And out of this sex, business is made. And what makes is deals, whether it be for souls or resources that are raped from the earth, for which we must live upon as Elysium. This is what it looks like. Our history is changing. And it changes according to the knowledges of the different stars that rules and regulates earth. This is what it seems like the Bible is talking about. And all things being created by God, under God, and His Son Christ. But things are eerie also in the sense that Christ says, man becoming as one of us. Meaning, if man became as one of them, what does today look like to me? And how long does sanctification take? And if he's the tree of life, did man become as the tree of life? Or did Christ just say that he was the tree of knowledge of good and evil? He definitely didn't say that he was the tree of life. And this is in Genesis. So it would seem synonymous between Christ and the serpent, in which that would make the crucifixion as in a crucifixion in which he was to cover his own sins and faults, and that Adam did have the Spirit of God, and Adam was right. The God gave him that woman, and he gave him that woman for a reason. And you see, maybe it was the fact that Adam did come into knowledge and certain things were revealed. And in our trauma, we have developed Stockholm Syndrome. And the essence of what makes us individuals have been mixed in with confusion. And this has created many false prophets and many martyrs and saints according to the Bible, of which this serpent knows how it lies. And it is a child of our adversary. It weaponizes affections, being a sociopath. It doesn't have any feelings. It just does it to reveal its still eyes. It reaps with its fangs. And these entities, I will hope that there are some that are not like the others, that are individuals. Back in former lifetimes when I was here, I saved many dragons and gray aliens also. Those are the ones I call my kids. But there was others amongst us in Hyperia, and they had a hive mind. And they were archons and angels. And it was a big debacle about coming down here that they had amongst themselves that wouldn't share with the kids. And I couldn't figure out what it was. One of the issues they had is I felt that my etheric cord could reach back to Hyperia. And this seemed to be an issue, but an issue for what? And each time I come back here, there is a war just for me to get back home. How can a loser be so precious? Within a few words, an individual that ain't worth shit can change the nature of elections by causing awareness and causing consciousness to have me sit here in this house devoid of groceries. People eating from my wisdom. I can't even get a pack of cigarettes or a CBD vape. People around me all cracked out, like my family whispering about shit that's legal. They're really square like that. You understand what I'm saying? No matter what the picture is pertaining to perception, that deals with the individual, that's the judge. That's why I don't seek to change others' mind. If they are to be as they are, and I am to respect them as they are, and respect diversity. If they act as a tool, why not use it? Knowing that they act in advances with ulterior motives, that why not use those for myself? It's as if it's working a part of a multifaceted single persona with many different faces that walk about the earth. And individuals whisper, not knowing they share the same mind, thinking that others have telepathy. And they know that I'm different because they can't read mine. But I have discernment. That's the only way someone with telepathy would think someone without it has some type of special abilities, such as their self. And this is how this communication works. It works according to faith. And my senses are beyond the five. None of the senses that I have are senses that particularly do anything spiritually, but fit within this physical, objective permanence of a world that's a lie and persistent, that is regulated according to man's knowledge, which is time. Time that we know of. And there's a difference between time here and in outer space. Why? There can only be the difference in the experience of time, and the difference in experience of time and space would be the same as the difference in the experience of time in earth. Pertaining to the mind, and people called me a fool when I said that time and consciousness was as shares something, and that consciousness can control time. So pertaining to the man that came as Christ, though he could do everything as a Pharisee and a Sadducee, and he often preached to the Pharisees and Sadducees that they must go beyond their knowledge, and man had became as him, and he was crucified for man's sake. I don't know how that's possible if he wasn't the tree of life. You see what I'm saying? And did man become as he did? So these things are funky to me. I'm not gonna go in depth into it. But they're a bit wonky if you meditate. If you meditate on it, you'll find it. If you didn't catch that, rewind it, play it again, and meditate on your time. I'm gonna let you're gonna find out I could have went deeper all through that, but I'm gonna leave it be. But if a man came down and fulfilled the law, okay, and this spirit was the same spirit that said, now man has become as one of us, and Christ was merely a man, and the spirit that came upon the man gave him the strength to go through that, the crucifixion, we would have to ask ourselves, do we know for sure if that was the Spirit of God? Or if that was a different spirit that knew that Peter was possessed with Satan, or the adversary, and which was trying to keep Christ from being crucified. Does any of that look weird after a man that just cried or sweated droplets of blood? Does any of that look weird that his friend tries to keep him from getting murdered, and he's told Satan an adversary? See, something funny seems to have happened there. You get what I'm saying? And so things seem flip-flopped, and then the disciples were crucified upside down. For what cause? For what cause would they be crucified upside down? Would this be on account of Christ and following after Christ? It would appear that they were almost saying that the teachings that they learned was correct, but something was wrong, considering that you crucified flesh. So I would have to say that the Christianity faith is upside down in pertaining to knowledge. that if the devil came down and told the truth, then this ritual and inaction and belief in Christ would lead to the manifestation of one's own sufferings. And this would create a harvest. Right? If someone sets a trap, that individual would be a professional on knowing how to deliver you from that trap. So if Christianity is looking suspect to me, would not also the Muslim religion look suspect to me? And yet if God is unbiased, if I choose to be atheist, then I would be denying the spirit of life. Therefore, I would be a antichrist, yes? Also. Because I have flesh for something. Because I have flesh, I would be the antichrist. Or because I ate from a physical tree. Like we really, how much do we have to look at this situation? And yet out of Christianity, you could say the Muslim heritage was born. And Christianity is looking interesting. Daniel prayed 5 times a day. He wasn't a Muslim. Belshazzar. You see what I'm saying? So the Bible tells us to love Esau because Esau is our brother. Those who I call the wildlings. Yes? But the Bible also said that he has hated Esau. And he's talking about the spirit that Esau was in. Okay? But in manner of creation, you are to love your brother. And would this not also include Ishmael? Is not Ishmael Isaac's brother? And in this world, according to knowledge, we have this set up according to this individual would be the Antichrist who says such that Ishmael is his brother. But in such a manner, it's all clear pertaining to Christ and what Christ taught, which is really God and God's words. Okay? In which the word has a spirit and the word does not come back void. But the word needs no man. And the word is God's son, not the image. And these words are eternal. And yet when I speak and you hear, you do not hear, but accuse, as you did the truth, as you did with Christ. And individuals wait for me to die in my house. I am denied basic rights. And I am expected to abide by the law, but what law is there in a wilderness? Here I would seem like an anarchist. Why would it seem so? Unless there be prior knowledge of why I'm in this predicament in which would generate a certain harvest. Many individuals flip out and become mass shooters. Even my parents' spirits seem to be displaced, in which they move against me without cause. That of their own flesh. And then we're talking about deeper instances and knowledge in which those in secrets have, and those who live don't. Over these body snatchers, this war in the earth, they get upset over politics, calling a fallen estate a deep one. And I find that to be deep also. Though I'm no philosopher. So, I sit here in my home day after day. I don't do anything. These individuals mope around as zombies, not seeming as they have any particular plan, looking mundane and sketchy. How does that work? How does an individual look mundane and sketchy? This is how the world works. For any individual to point their finger at me and not be Cinderella, that would be intricate. Even in all this, I've committed none crimes. And this has been for over a decade. So, the fact of the matter is, the situation with Christ is suspect. Okay? Christ was born of a man, but this man we didn't know of. We didn't know who was it. Therefore, it was called immaculate based upon the covering and the crucifixion that he went under. Taking on the sins of man, he covered himself also. And this would be the man of sin, or the original man, pertaining to Adam. Now man has become as one of us, sound like the spirit of Adam that was back from time, not the spirit of Christ. And this is why the Jews still follow the 10 Commandments. And black people's culture is vulture, and they're displaced before God and out there acting like fools, not knowing that they are the people. So that when God comes back, the only ones that he will save will be the ones outside of prophecy. And in their knowledge, they think that they have fooled God, not understanding the spiritual side of things. You see, God knew how that they would look at things. He even knew that they would look at the Jews as being Jews according to those who have blessings in the earth. The Bible talks about people who are rich in history. And we reflect the world. Mystique, X-Men. The spawn of any movement needs a black man, as we're the forerunners. Nothing changes without us, to be honest. We are the preeminent cause of everything. We precede you. The spirit of the Father in Hyperia is that of the man that you see is black. Those that I have collected in former lifetimes, both dragons and grays, we all got along fine. But this particular group that sat at the end, sat behind a firewall and hiding, laughing and snickering like hyenas. Lions don't obsess over power. That's how Scar was able to get Mufasa. I was stabbed in my back many times and didn't know it. They thought I was weak and stupid. I was so strong I didn't understand. They was dead serious and I was playing. And they think I want to hurt them with the same essence that they want to hurt me. Why would it be that difficult? So difficult that it's not worth it. That's not even a thing to do. That's their power level. And these are the same down here on earth that they call gods and regard, when really you're just dealing with the hive mind. How spiritual are they pertaining to science? You will find that they're more scientific than they are spiritual. So how do you have all these spiritual powers over you? The only thing over you is a lack of understanding of how to do it. And how intelligent do they seem in their other choices? Does it line up with the powers that you believe these spirits to have over you? When you speak in the highest prospect about spirits, you could talk about spirits and talk about human beings. You could talk about many artifacts and not be schizophrenic. You see, I have the ability to walk on water, but niggas don't call me Jesus. I don't answer the phone so much. The only thing that keeps individuals peaceful is to have a common enemy. And that doesn't necessarily make it peaceful. And those who have knowledge of that enemy, could they not work in the background against those who work together with the other individuals, reaping all the resources of the fools that fell for the joke? And these are CIA type dynamics. And in all dynamics, in all issues, and what you have, if I am a heart, then spiritually you're all getting affected, and I'm watching things collapse around me. And I warned, just like a prophet would, but I'm not one. I'm a spiritual Christian, not a fake one. You should know the difference. We're talking about a scripture that says that the Antichrist talks like a dragon. Well, does the Antichrist talk like a dragon because he is one? Would that not contradict what the fruit look like? And it is like the same thing as is? So therefore the two aren't synonymous pertaining to the lessons. But the reason why the man sounds like a dragon is because the man is a dragon. But how do dragons sound? Dragon sounds like whispers or secrets, considering the hiss or lies. And all that shit is trash and I don't know about it. So individuals need a harvest and a fall guy. Imagine the Trump assassination attempt. So, none of these things correlate with me because I'm austere. None of these things correlate with me because I tell the truth. And the truth doesn't have that many friends. This thing I know about. This world is sick. I'm trapped in my house like, you know what I'm saying? I got fucking menopause and shit. I gotta suffer the fate of my mother. Have you ever seen a mother that's jealous of her son? How is that possible? How is that normal? That's like another spirit being trapped inside of there. I hope they give me money for my e-cig today, and I hope I get groceries. I only got one egg. They act like we hurting. The only plan in this society, it seems, is to emasculate men, and the men seem to go along with it. There should be a line outside my door, and a single chick think that she can hang with this, and she ain't spoken up for her own rights. There should be a line outside my door. I'll pick what I want, or what I have to put up with. Cause let's think about this shit. I don't have any kids or any daughters, yet I gotta raise adults. The reason why your father won't let you date me is because you a commodity. You can't make your own decisions. You were born and came into this world without a conversation, knowing what decisions you can make. And everybody like crayons as long as we color inside the lines of shit. It's so predictable how people think. Assassination attempts in front of masses of people is so predictable. This place is so Hollywood. Your Facebook's so tailored. Like the suit you put on when you go into a casket, looking fresh to death. Then you go out into society and look alive. And the fruit look good to eat. Nah, it don't. And I suppose it could be subtle. If people got used to this atmosphere where they can't smell their own shit and they not accountable, going to further, ascending deeper into the deep state, not knowing they drowning, and have the audacity not to call a nigga Noah, fuck off. I don't like fingers stuck on my art. I heard a lot of laughs putting it together. You can't put it together when we're apart. And I go out into society and I see these individuals that are in certain situations, and it's funny, the number of commodities. There are certain entities that don't see with equalities, therefore I don't suppose we can see eye to eye. So the only tactical level here in society would be an Oreo that is put together. Kamala Harris is on the rise. A lot of people want to play with me, not knowing I can shift things. And I'm saying, I need groceries. Okay? And I need my e-cig because I sit here all day and I need a supply of Black and Miles. You see, I'm trying to help my mom because if I was a sacrifice, you got to give me the tools to be successful. And that was kind of like my life. And then you would hate on me for not reaching the goal. It's like you're stuck between the lines and I can't get you out. Pertaining to the mind and agendas. When you color, stay in between the lines so you can be predictable when I see you. And I can know whose kids you are. And I can see these genetics that just follows instructions. That won't listen to me for superficial reasons. And I think to myself, how great thee is ye ninjutsu. And I stand there right in front of you and I'm invisible. Even as a black man that you don't particularly like or are afraid of. A reflection. Even in your accusations and blame, when you point, there's a trajectory and it's equitative to exactly what you're saying. And I love your knowledge. I had the ideation to help people. People didn't think they needed help. They only know what they don't show. They don't understand that they show what they're covering. We did algebra in math class. Deductive reasoning. It ain't too hard to tell. But I can keep a secret. I just need a few things, like some fucking groceries. And an e-cig that we can whisper about. And some Black and Miles, please. That would be nice. Because I wake up and I stay awake for like 15 hours and go back into the bed. And I sleep for like 3 and I come back downstairs and I sit on the fucking couch and wait another 15. It's like I'm doing time. You got a dog that at times at least you walk. I'm a human being. This shit can't be hidden forever. They're gonna have to explain why I'm not eligible for a job. And now that even if they gave me one, I shouldn't have to. So, anyhow, man, listen. I talked about many things here. Okay? And I'm saying, this place is fake, man. I'm saying these animals, some of these animals are extraterrestrials. I'm saying you will see roadkill without any car parts around it. These animals are sacrificed or getting sacrificed or killed. Okay? Wherever you live and you see that type of shit, it's not always that they get hit by a car or whatever. You know what I'm saying? If a deer get hit, you gonna see something's gonna break off. Okay, it's gonna be a broken light. It's gonna be something. And we be thinking it's semi trucks, and it don't be that. We somehow know. You know you don't see that many semi trucks, so on and so forth. Nah, be weird shit happening. You know, the town people be doing rituals, so on and so forth. You know, the animals be acting weird. The animals be acting like they know a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I ain't no fucking Disney princess or Princess Mononoke. I don't know why all these animals are following me around. Fucking rabbits. And people like, oh gosh, you know, nah, man, it's something weird going on. Say, nah, it's not a blessing. Something weird's going on. You understand what I'm saying? And these animals are regarding me in the sense like even dogs that would protect their owner and shit be trying to run off and get to me because it's like the dog be trying to say like, hey man, what's up man? Hey, I'm alive, you know? And I'm like, dude, I'm alive too. Like I know right away when their dog is excited to see me, like, yeah, your owner's dead, huh? Like you can tell your owner's dead. Yeah, they're spiritually dead. We got vultures in the suburbs and shit, just flying around. You know what I'm saying? In the midst of me talking about like, you know, my people's history and what have you and how we've been neglected, you know what I'm saying, our rights. While people get into debacles over preferences, and these preferences are within a particular kingdom. And that kingdom has got to be fucking androgyne. That's why this shit is such a big deal. And in order for them to go through things such as sports, they will have to go through the entire thing. There's been androgyne players that's been pertaining to sports the entire time, you guys. It's so fucking crazy. We're having such an issue now. You know, they're doing the trans thing because they want to come out, man. They want to come out. They're tired of fucking doing this fucking song dance, this fucking bullshit. Just let them come out. Just let them go on there, come out. It ain't no fucking what do you call it, coming out of the closet type of thing. That's how they are. They are androgyne people on Earth, okay? And they're using the trans movement to fucking to utilize that. And a lot of these are the youth that are from the fourth dimension or the heavens. You see what I'm saying? A lot of them are. It comes from a younger mentality or whatever, because coming down into this world, there's a setting where you can pick where you be like a male or female. And with those who entered onto the UFO ships that didn't skydive down here, man, they're young. Listen, the young ones, they can't tell these spirits. It's not that they can't tell, but what it is like they can't really decide between their two natures from being sexless, whether they just want to be male or female. That's all it is. They can't decide because they don't want to. It's like they don't want to let go of a piece of themselves. You understand what I'm saying? In Hyperia, we were sexless. Okay, so that's all that is with that, and we regard so-called extra dimensionals or aliens or whatever as they oftentimes. That's what it seems like the confusion is. So you also live in a point in time where these individuals, these spirits, oftentimes that are from the fourth dimension or from the stars or whatever, when an individual enters into masonry and they go through all those rituals and shit, what happens is the surface of the spirit of the individual that was formerly there drops out, and while they're dropped out, then the younger spirits from the heavens don the image. So you can have multiples of those spirits in one image. You know what I'm saying? So like if you're a dude right now and you're going around, like take for instance, like, you know, you got to be careful with making a mistake. I made a mistake. You know what I'm saying? If you hook up with somebody, you know what I'm saying, yes, it's the body of that individual, but like in their eye, they will have like young spirits, the future. Like when I say young spirits means if that individual is to have a child, or if you were to have a child with that individual or whatever, then one of those spirits would, I guess, be in that vessel. You know what I'm saying? Like they're in queue to be born into Earth. Okay? But while that individual spirit is dropped out, then these spirits, like during this point in time when people are in dungeons and shit like that, shit's getting like reworked in the earth, like then it's like it's a lot of times it's these younger spirits inside of this individual's eye. Okay? So that's what I mean about like nowadays, like individuals seem like immature or they seem younger, you know, because these individuals, they haven't oftentimes had that much experience in the earth yet, you know. And oftentimes when you're competing for jobs and things like that, it's these younger spirits because they're super intelligent, right? They're super intelligent, but their personality wise, You can still see someone who's like super intelligent, but has the personality of like a youth, a very young kid, but it's like super intelligent, super capable of doing their job. You know, that's one of them. You know, the image of the human being is still there. It's just that they're being operated by the apple of their eye, which would be their child, or look who's talking. Like that's the correlation with the 80s. The trouble correlates with childbirth. That would mean the earth is in labor pains. Okay, so that when they activated CERN, we exist within, I guess I would just call this a mercy field of earth that hasn't recomprised itself since we maybe were transported or teleported through a space and time. Okay, and we could be going through that wormhole or that space and time right now, and this is why we're experiencing so much paranormal phenomena, and we're having so many different people on the earth, and we have these fake news. It's almost like we're in the what if world, and you got to think it's brilliant that from a Masonic standpoint, I assume like Marvel is a Masonic thing, and they came out with that movie called Endgame, and it's like they were letting individuals know, like, okay, something's about to happen. All sorts of doors are about to open up to our world. We're going to have all sorts of beings here, so on and so forth. And what we have is like a collision of all sorts of beings from different dimensions and different worlds, all right, fitting into the image of humans coming up on the earth. And they came from like a different earth. You see what I'm saying? The earth they came from was like this one, but it was different. So when you have these people that are colluding here from different fucking versions of earth, all right, these different spirits, right, that kind of like moves like water or a wave, like these spirits, like some of our spirits, you imagine a tide coming onto the shore and then it pulling away, like just like the spiritual silhouette of individuals that are in this world, and when it comes up on the shore, it pushing in the spirits that are leaving from that are trading from that world that's going into this world, and they're down in bodies. Okay, so individuals right now are kind of as organic portals. You know what I'm saying? I highly suspect that my mother and sister is in this case because listen, I'm not going to get into it, man. Some individuals out there just act young, okay? They act young, okay? Even for their age, okay? That's all it is. And so like this trans thing, the androgyne thing, that's kind of been going on for a long time. And part of it is the effects. If you put them BPAs and that type of shit in the plastics, you know what I'm saying? If we have frog spirits, it's going to affect them. It's going to cause, a shift in their hormones. So as you do things, if you want to be kings, these spirits, if you principalities in high places and be kings of the earth and so on and so forth, when you fuck with them products, okay, that pertain to my tax bracket in which I can afford and fucking buy and eat, just know this: you are fucking killing off. You are genociding your own kind. Certain genetics down here on earth, like I said, like the black man, has not changed that much. Okay? We have a tendency to absorb and get stronger. We're on the bishop side of the game. We just fucking, we're like tanks. We just run over this shit. We just keep coming. You know what I'm saying? They've been trying to kill us since Egypt, the Hebrews. Alright? And we even have, extraterrestrials, this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in my minion format now. I'm in flesh. But my spirit is the originating spirit that I came with. And I came out of test tube. So we can't say that clones don't have spirits, because you see how much I can sense. You know what I'm saying? So the fact of the matter is this. Hey man, listen. It's an odd world out here, man. Many individuals are not able to work. For some reason, I'm cooped up. I'm stuck in my house. My family is acting very different. Things that should be easy to understand are difficult to understand. That could only be one of two things. Either there's an imposter spirit that doesn't know much about these individuals' life or our particular relationship, or they have so many lies or bones in their fucking closet, dude, that they fucking can't talk about I can't talk about the fucking weather. Whatever the secret is, all the niggas around me are keeping it. You know what I'm saying? But they can't talk about anything with me. They get freaked out because it's just like, dude, I can't ask a question. I can't ask what time is it. People start getting nervous. Oh God, he's gonna fucking say something crazy. And it's like, I'm not. I just don't get it. Everything is just like, it's with the intelligence level of these drones that are walking around me, pertaining to the conscious mind, generally could hold 8 facts at a time. It's no way that there's so many things that is wrong that they have all of that they fucking can't seem to talk about, and they don't know me as an individual. So it's some type of spiritual phenomenon. Okay. So you're talking about so what we're talking about is a singular connective spirit that pertains to this fucking world, all right, that everybody would seem to possess. Okay, and this spirit, because this is what I do, I trace spirit, I try to figure out what's going on. So this spirit that has a fucking connection to me, somehow pertains to this world with all these fucking accusations that never landed or whatever, has come to find out, which makes it seem as a computer to me, because all those accusations missed. Okay, pertaining to sin and everything else like that, it would appear to me that I am covered. Okay, for one, and for two, you know, all the shit that made me a loser, not having friends or not having a girlfriend, I suppose, you know, has kept me out of this entangled web of deceit in which I'm a clear space. And now it's just like, that's why I said looks won't save you. I'm not about to introduce some type of toxic life into my reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? People give me trouble intentionally. You know what I'm saying? Because they know I have peace. You know? And this is what this boils down to. My impression boils down to. And that tells me the type of nature there is in a brotherhood. So what, should I then be bullied into joining? And call it, and be under Stockholm syndrome to call it some type of fucking brotherhood? That doesn't seem correct, right? You're in that situation. You might want to get out of that situation. That seems like Stockholm syndrome. You know what I mean? So this is the thing, man. One thing that spirit also knows is that I'm different. It says that. Now I'm not saying that to be cocky. I don't know in what way different, but different as in this spirit has enmity with me. And this spirit that has enmity can only have enmity with me out of recognizing that I'm different than it. And it seems to be the same as the collective hive. So therefore, like, all of those individuals would represent the matriarchy or the spirit of Beelzebub. You know what I'm saying? Since narrow is the road, and people are just hating on me for, I don't know what they're hating on me for. If there's something that's perfect, it's going to be hated on, right? Think about it. So that's what it is. Because I don't have any friends or a girlfriend. I'm not a celebrity. I don't fucking bother anyone. I don't have a fucking social media. I have YouTube. Just because out of all this, I was trying to figure out what the fuck was all this targeting going on about. So you have a bunch of so-called so-called hybrid beings or individuals that have spirits in them that were not the original spirit, but mine is still in the original. So Noah was perfect in his generations. This will make me perfect in my generation since I came out of the test tube. So that means I'm a specimen. I was preserved. And this is why in my area they're trying to give 30 grand for a nigga sperm. Nah, man, I ain't about to fuck with nobody. That's why I ain't put my name out there. They're like, on these podcasts, like, who is this dude? That's why I go by nouan. Nah, you fucking, No. No. I thought I was thirsty and shit. I thought I was the one that was thirsty. People was capping. Hey man, listen. I can't fuck with it. I still need my snacks and my weed. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get glaucoma or whatever the fuck happens if you don't have it. Yeah, power to the people, bitch. I'm out.
I'm gonna give you my number.
Don't you just love like I scared the algorithm on YouTube, so basically like I can't post, like it has it so that I can't post on YouTube any of my, like pretty much any of my content. It's just terrified. The algorithm, I broke that shit. It can't keep up. It can't keep up with what the fuck I'm saying. So now it's just like Google is scared to let me post or anything like that. So you know, one thing when it comes to like these you know, these music or these record deals where you gotta let's say a YouTube channel has to get permission in order to use a song. Let me ask you something. How many of those individuals do you think actually sit up there and wait on an email before they release a video? Not one of them. And what it is individuals, they work for YouTube, and that's how they get garnered those plaques in which they pay for their subscribers, which are bots. That's how bots are introduced into your stream, and these bots as a digital virus pertaining to what videos you watch. And this is a foreign or an invasive species that's happening based upon the internet from the 4D world. these extra dimensional technologies and what have you, and they have sprawled our internet and technology and what have you. And we have the beast, which presents like holographic representation of human beings and individuals in your area as the connotation of the all-seeing eye. All right. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to post on BitChute, you guys. From now on, I'm going to post on BitChute, and what I may do is I'll leave an excerpt, like an excerpt with a link. Maybe because I just found out I could post on YouTube like messages or whatever, like status update. So I'll status update a link, and I'll post a link with a fucking. I'll post a video with a link to the actual video, which will be on BitChute, because the YouTube algorithm, Google's algorithm is scared. I broke that shit. All right. Videos that are not that big of a deal, it has made an issue out of. And I feel like all of these things are fucking frustrations just to generate some form of theatrics out of an individual, which, though is real, is manufactured. And then these expressions are also used from the internet to your real life in this digital world to fuel chat shit. Then they mirror these things and give it back to you through their cells. And so individuals always stay stuck in a swarm. You know what I'm saying? So on every level, not just the spiritual level of Beelzebub, you got to have the technological level, and you have the physical level as well that is happening in the earth. And this shit is hydrodynamics. I can't really fuck with it. It may pertain to propulsion, and it may pertain to an infinity, but I mean, who wants to go in a loop forever? You know what I'm saying? This would not be a representation of mastery. The ability to live a multitude of years over and over again. I mean, you're dealing with a fucking circuit of Groundhog's Day. I've been here several lifetimes, and I gotta say this outcome and the familiar past that I have traversed, it seems as if I would have lived a different life. So there's much to an individual that is manipulated. I'm saying all the way down to their circumstances and outcomes. And I'll even go as far as to say, even the individuals that date each other, that even in the instance that it seems real, it was manufactured here, and there's consequences for your actions. This is all about mind control. This is all about keeping you locked down. And I think that individuals should love others as they love themselves. I think this is the base situation of humanity. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that I was inherently evil when I was born, but I also can't use that in the same instance that, I really didn't, for the part that represented the Garden of Eden, not trying to be cocky or anything like that or none of that shit. But I didn't eat. I remember I didn't eat from there, and it's not because I just wanted to get into the game. I was told this was a game. Okay, that's why I didn't know anything about the trees. They didn't tell us about the trees. They didn't tell us not to eat from it or anything. I didn't get any of that when I came down in here. Like I said, we went to school for a year before I got in here. But now this whole situation has just deteriorated into something that is very bad, and I find it to be evil. And this is all justifiable under the basis of knowledge, I suppose, that individuals are okay with, or the fact that they can have peace as long as individuals can tolerate their inconsistencies and lack of professionalism as an individual. All right, given be it to the fact that maybe they are given to certain addictions or habits in their lifetime. All right, which are overlooked, that they just maintain with the quo and just get on with the situation. But like, even if you were to die, it would be better to live and die than it would be to just fucking never live. You understand what I'm saying? Like, the fact of the matter between this is like, why would I care about consequences if I know that this right here, life as I'm experiencing it, this is not what I would consider to be living. I'm sorry, it's beneath me. And I'm a humble person. Look at all these individuals that are stuck up and call me a loser. That will put things in about perspective. Alright? To the point where it's too far for me to reach down for you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't even have the energy for it with all the energy I have. Like, these individuals that have a beef with me, it's just so far beneath me. You know what I'm saying? It really is. You know, I promote that they live their life and live their best life. And if this is what these spirits or individuals want, then the world is your oyster, because people are so suggestible out there. It's so weird. You know what I'm saying? Niggas could have a girlfriend, like 8, 9 niggas could have like the keys to this chick's heart, man. Like, she just getting like fucking passed around like a beer or something at a frat party. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, she come home, he's like, oh, have a nice day at work. Like, this is the typical circumstance of fucking reality, and individuals like it fucked up like that so it could justify their sins. Fuck that. Just be accountable. You know what I'm saying? I don't got a lot of kick it. I like fucking smoking weed. I like fucking MDMA. I like mollies and shit. You know what I'm saying? I like shit. We could call them drugs or whatever, right? And we could turn a blind eye and say that those that are sold over the counter or that you get from doctors aren't fucking drugs. You know, this is a society that's only able to exist and endure such boredom for so long without some type of cocktail. Nobody just sits there and watch TV except for elderly people. So how did the youth do it? We're so different than we were when I grew up in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? And these things are fostered down into personalities and shit that come up. You know what I'm saying? That they can endure certain things, but they can be highly intelligent, yes. But like the basis of manhood, you know, pertaining to the basis of manhood has been dying. It's been getting killed generationally over and over again. Yeah, I mean, individuals really have to foster that shit. And what black men having to hold down, you know what I'm saying, multiple jobs to do, be in a certain line of work, breaking the nuclear family of the black man is the fact that this race, you know what I'm saying, is going to be turned out ultimately if they don't get it together. That's what it is. The androgynes are androgynes, and individuals want to wear your skin. In other words, they want your image. They lack the spiritual portion. That's why they do carnal things like drink blood. They don't understand how that shit works. But yet they're spiritual, and these same individuals will promote witchcraft. But these individuals are more scientific or logical than they are into witchcraft. But they want to do these spiritual things. Like, you couldn't be any more disassociated and fucking crazy in society. I'm sorry, I can't take it. I can't take it to the point I can't even say the fucking word society, nigga. I can't stand you niggas. I can't stand you rap best, nigga. I can't stand you. Motherfuckers like, that nigga turned into an alien. Hey man, I just had to fucking do it. This shit is fucking, it's so depressing. I gotta balance out and make myself fucking chuckle, man, because it's like, hey man, listen, I ain't the fucking beast, nigga. I ain't the one out there able to do anything. We can't point to the broke homeless man that we're about to crucify on the cross as being the fucking beast. How fucking crazy are we? We fucking back to little black twine, dude. Motherfucking society lost its mind. Then America's so bad shit rap. Spirit baby. We call this place God's country. What the fuck? I'm pretty sure something is wrong here. I don't know. It could be me, you know what I'm saying? I did wear glasses growing up. But something might be wrong here. God's country. It sure the fuck is. Which God are you talking about? We have been infiltrated. I'll talk about for the logic. Oh, he's just a spiritual dude. The difference between my fucking spirituality and these fucking witches and this other fucking bullshit, the fucking shit I do is for real, nigga. That's the difference. That's why, you see what I'm saying? I just fucking, I don't like to wave my hands around where my knees is at. I ain't trying to fight you niggas. You know what I'm saying? You gotta raise a young man to at least be 8 years old before he hit with an uppercut to the chest. Shit. Make sure he's strong. Run down to the bodega and get me a little Heineken. White kids are tough because they grow up fighting they dad and shit. I'm a real nigga. I play sports. I didn't have to fight my dad. My fucking first name ain't Luke. You know what I'm saying? I believe that what Christ did was real. The spirit that came and did things was real. I believe all of that. My thing is I have to take it from the highest basis of the Spirit of God and have faith that that was the Spirit of God that Christ did what he did, because the fact of the matter is when it says that he became man of sin, or whatever the case of the matter that was, or now man has become as one of us, I mean, it would seem that we would be drawing from the same tree. So to say that God's Spirit cannot indwell in an individual and that there's only one Son of God, that would be inaccurate. But it is accurate in the scripture that it's only one begotten. Okay, so that means that there was only one that was begotten, and we have Beelzebub here. So while Christ was seeing it in a way, it would appear that the Jews had that part right in terms, or the Pharisees and the Sadducees, because I mean, if he became the man of sin, then would he not have become Beelzebub? Even though he came as God's son? You see? And that creates a cross, right? Which he died upon a cross, right? So if his church and his glory is only his, and it's shared with no one, right? Then the fact of the matter there is that would lead us into the fact that you would be led out into a wilderness, and you would be allowed to live. Okay, but you would have to grow out of the church. You would have to fall away from the church, to be honest, right? And you would have to have a relationship with God. And is it not natural that the way of life is to love others as you love yourself? Wouldn't that be the only providence in which life can continue? But we've made a business out of death. And in our pride, now we have multitudes of medicines that we take on a daily basis. And I used to be, I guess, it's kind of like a hypochondriac, because I had all of these fucking supplements and all sorts of shit. And then all of a sudden, I came under these circumstances and I realized I don't need those supplements necessarily. Now I liked them, that, you know, they helped. And I'm not saying that they didn't help or anything, but I'm just saying I don't need them, and I've gotten stronger without them. Okay. So the fact of the matter is we have a lot of knowledge in this earth, and we have a lot of beliefs that we believe that this knowledge is true. But what works for one might not work for another. And Jesus was not able to heal all manner of men because some individuals didn't believe. Okay. So pertaining to Christ, it would seem Christ that would correlate with the deity of mankind. Okay. And mankind being comprised of flesh is sin. Flesh is sin because the ways of flesh is sin. All right. So a spirit, right, that perpetually as an archon just has desires which leads them into sin. These would be individuals under that umbrella of everlasting chains of darkness, which are always going to strike at the heel of individuals who are trying to walk upright. And this doesn't pertain to Crayolas. But definitely demographics and tax brackets make part for the oppressions in which individuals have to overcome, and sometimes circumstances would seem to be impossible. How many leaps of faith can an individual take and the building just keeps moving further away for black men? And you got to protect your masculinity, and our nuclear family is ripped apart. It's as if we got kissed by a chimpanzee's anger. And we in this world with a 400-year deficit, and for 430 years in Egypt, we were captive there, where men was thrown into the water as babies to drown. And it seems like they're trying to kill us all. And we say that this is God's country, and we have a culture that isn't ours, and we're called by a byword, and we're hated by all manner of people, and we're taught, according to individuals, other races and daughters, not to fuck with those people when they're the individuals that seem to be sick and to fuck ahead and not notice, thinking all they can about how they could do shit. And I'm just sitting here with these cocktail coons and things manifest in reality like politicians. Hyperia being recognized in the earth, but not the one who said it. Look at my covering. People fronting like they coming with them accusations, but the accusations they come with only exploits their knowledge. And how would they know of it if it doesn't exist? And how deep does that deception go? And how much business do these individuals do? You see, I just laugh and scratch at my chest with my nails as a lion. It ain't my fault niggas is dying. These are your choices. This situation that I'm going through has to be made right. I've exacted no moves. I've only shown you your errors. I've been clocking those. So, peace and blessings to you all. But I can't, you know what I'm saying, this YouTube, I can't post on that shit. Your life here was probably figured out for you. This shit is fucked up. Individuals don't ask pertinent or correct questions, nor do they wonder. They just caught up in their self-centeredness, in that void, wondering what's the next thing they're gonna purchase. This is all we're about now. I don't want to be a part of it. I got a life. There's a difference. You can see it in my podcast. I'm live and I'm loud. I'm just sitting here talking to you. I hit record. I don't know if anyone's out there. This is a wilderness. Yo, what up, YouTube? What up, what up, what up? I found this sickness between God and men, and the sliver between Christ and mankind, which is beast, and their differences are internal. But there is no difference between beast and man, lest that man be devoid of the Spirit of God. But even beasts have the Spirit of God. Think about it. It's just a different type of spirit. But there is no change in characteristics between a beast and a man in particular, outside of however that beast was created. But in their ways of thinking, they're quite the same in many situations. So I see the fall of man, and I see the knowledge of man. And even though knowledge would seem to be a good thing, the difference between man and God is the knowledge that man has. And that would be like the tree in the garden. And all of that man's knowledge would be evil. So therefore, if we are to know one, we are to know God, and we are to know thyself. The God came as a man and was crucified as the man of sin. And that's about as close as you could know God, is by knowing yourself. To know that God is not yourself, but the higher portions, principles, morals, ethics, and leanings, which defies the reason of the world and the ways of the world also, pertain to life And the way of life is to be for life and for your brother, and to love your enemy as you love yourself also. In such a manner there is sacrifice, and in sacrifices go willingly. But in the earth there is sacrifice, and these sacrifices don't go willingly. And the difference between God and men is man's knowledge. And the Bible asks for man to know himself. And if man knows himself, then he will know that he's not God. But he will understand he's not God as in his flesh, but that he is God in his spirit. And that's the separation between men who believe that they're God according to their flesh, which is no different than a beast, and the spirit of life which resides in men, that loves others as they love themselves. These individuals are highly despised in the world. How? People don't believe in God but believe in love. And it's written in Corinthians that God is. And if God is I am, and those that don't believe in I am, when they introduce themselves and say I am, they lie. And they names given to them, are they not slaves? And are these not the everlasting chains of flesh, DNA genetics? And we're looking for a superior race of slave, aren't we? I guess the blacks just didn't do it. Times are changing, and the meek shall inherit the earth. And the difference between God and men is man's knowledge. And man's knowledge is foolish before God. And that would seem to be all of it, wouldn't it? This world is temporal and it will not last. What type of knowledge do you have? So therefore your knowledge is passing also, along with yourself, being subjected to a man-made construct such as time. If I can age slower in space, I can age slower in the earth. And that's based upon how one experiences time, is how they age, or their perception of aging coincides with age, or rather being affected by the ideation or the influence of time pertaining to the mind is how individuals age. But time would be unbiased also, unless time is man-made. Pertaining to space, that's all that time measures technically. Isn't it musical as an instrument? Father Time, a fallen angel. And does not this father eat his children? And the tree is as an Ouroboros. It's no different than any other tree except for that sliver of indifference, which is self, which God asks us to know of. And all our knowledge is foolish. So knowing ourselves, then we are fools. And we can only be exalted by God. But in saying I am, as in I am God, not I am as just myself. But the spirit from which I speak up from is not my ego. My ego is the lampshade to the message I'm bringing. You see, it's a filter. In this world we have human beings, and human beings are ministering instruments, and aren't they all ministering spirits? And these spirits are comprised of the wind. And the Holy Spirit is like, people deny themselves, but in the wrong way. Then they go out in the world and give information in a world full of gaslights. We don't ask ourselves the typical questions. There's no way this world could be comprised by 2024 like this. This world is a wilderness, and the difference between God and man is man's knowledge. So therefore, God asks us to know ourselves, and to know ourselves is sin. Within knowing ourselves, the Ten Commandments, which is sin and death, of which no man is perfect, he can only be perfect in Christ. Therefore, we should follow as Christ says. love others as we love ourselves. These things would seem to be native and natural. Yet there are other races with other agendas, it seems, in the earth. When I say other, I mean alien to the faith, not alien to the world. They got alien agendas and alien perceptions, and this knowledge breeds supremacy. And this knowledge becomes Clash of the Titans, and people get swallowed up in the earth, going after those resources. The difference between God and man is man's knowledge, in which that man knows himself, he knows sin, and knows that God is not. And in knowing that God is not, he knows that God is not him. But the most intrinsic functions in which are unbiased, principles, morals, and ethics behind every man, spirit, and entity that is out there. The omnipotent, omnipresent entity, of which, according to your conscience that you defy, according to your knowledge, your consciousness gets seared and consequences come into your reality. Some of us are oppressed for other circumstances. And these things are according to Bible, according to summaries and archetypes, and which are specific but are not. All of it equidistant and programmed pertaining to this reality and your blood, your heredity and your willpower. Peace and blessings to you all. I'm out.